Start.
My name is Shankar Kumar Bose. I was born in 1938 in Assam, in a small place called Dhupri. Unfortunately, I lost my parents, both father and mother, when I was only 8 years old. And my uncle, he took care of us, but I used to feel uneasiness when people used to say, इसका पिताजी का माताजी का देहांत हो गया, ये ऑर्फन है, तो हमको बहुत बुरा लगता था. तो from that period, I almost became a bohemian. In a sense, I used to go out from the home without telling anybody. Used to go to the riverside. Used to visit the tribal areas at that age, tribal villages. Used to enter in the forest, nearby forest, by bicycling, by going there by cycling. So it was a bohemian life. I don't know, I lost all interest in my social life. Gradually, when I grew up, I have been told by my my guardian, also my elder brother, that I should practice in applying to the state government departments and different places for job. I was at that time completed just intermediate and studying in BA class. What happened? Fortunately or unfortunately, I got a job in State Bank of India in my first application. I joined the bank, and that was a different story. I was otherwise very sincere to my institution, but joining the bank created a problem for me. because when I was supposed to appear in BA exam, I've been told that being a very junior staff, I cannot take leave for 15-20 days for appearing in BA exam. During those days, bank has come out from Imperial Bank of India. I mean, it has been converted from Imperial to State Bank, and the British rules and regulations were very strictly followed by them. So I could not get interview, so I stopped studying further in the college and devoted myself in the bank. After 2 or 3 years, when I become little bit conversant with bank work and bank staffs, I was close to the bank staff, including the branch manager, probably due to my sincerity. I was very sincere. Though not sincere in study, I was sincere in official work. So at that time my cousin sister told me that your syllabus is going to be withdrawn and new syllabus is coming. So if you want to give your final exam of graduation, you do appear in the exam. So there was 4 months time, again I have joined the college. And after joining college, I attended class for 1 or 2 months. After that test exam, I again reappeared for test exam and qualified, because passing examination was not a problem for me. I was knowing that I must secure qualifying marks of 33 per paper, and it was not a difficult task. So I used to engage myself, to read college books just to secure that marks. So after that I appeared for BA exam. I took leave for the days when the examination dates were there, and then I became a graduate. Then I was transferred to Shillong. Why I have been transferred? By that time I have acquired more or less knowledge about all the working system of the bank, of the small district headquarter branch where I was working. So I wanted to know more. So I wrote an application to our head office that you transfer me to Panaji, which has been occupied by Indian Army, and you need banking employees. So I want to go there. Actually my intention was to see people, look people and see the places also. They have not transferred me to Panaji, they have transferred me to Shillong, where first regional office of State Bank came up. That was established there. When I joined that office, I was very sincere. One day my boss, Mr. T.K. Sinha from Bihar, he was very brilliant student of Patna University. He wanted to know about my qualification, etc. And then he suggested, look, if you want to have a good career, you must qualify yourself by passing the Indian Institute of Bankers exams. I know that passing of examination was not difficult task, but I was not willing to go through the books again and again. Somehow I thought I will be able to pass. First year I appeared and disqualified, and I came to know that for narrow marks I have failed in all the papers. Then I talked to my cousin brother who was a chartered accountant. He suggested you give same pattern of answer, means one question answer you have given very lengthy one, another very short. No, same size of answers you give, and you may secure because in CA exam also that policy they have, that all the papers must have more or less similar numbers. Very good in one subject and very bad in another is they don't allow to be qualified. The next year again I have appeared and fortunately qualified in all the papers, and I passed this Indian Institute of Bankers Part 1, and immediately I was selected for an interview to become an officer of the bank, and I appeared in the interview and written and test both, and accidentally or by luck favor, I have qualified. I became a trainee officer of State Bank of India. One thing I followed very strictly, that I must not come to the office late, and you will be surprised to know that the long service period, during the long service period, never I was late in the bank. 1 or 2 days I was late, I given the leave application and left the bank. I was not willing to put in record that I am late in the bank. That was my life that was going on happily, I can say, because I was an earning member of the family. I used to contribute some money to my family and to my guardians who have helped me to do study in colleges and schools. Well, one day my boss called me. By that time I became administrative secretary of a controlling office. Boss called me, Mr. Bose, we have been asked by Cherrapunji Ramakrishna Mission to organize a stall there. There will be a big, they are observing Silver Jubilee of Ramakrishna Mission Cherrapunji School, very old school. They are going to observe Silver Jubilee, and in that connection they want to have stalls of all the government departments. It will be some sort of fun fair. Then my boss said, Boss, you tell me what type of things we should show in that exhibition. My reply was very funny. सर देखिए, हम लोग जब स्टेट बैंक का स्टॉल देते हैं, क्या देते हैं? बड़ा बड़ा चार्ट. We have financed 200 buffaloes, 5 tractors, this, that. People are not interested for that. So never people entered in bank's stall. They just look from outside and cross the stall. Then what we should do? That was his question. My answer was, sir, let us do something. We handle money. Why not we arrange an exhibition showing the history of coins in India? Then I was given 1 month leave. I used to go to the district library, central library, and do study books to find out the materials for the exam. I arranged with one artist at the cost of the bank. He painted big paintings covering all. Like if I am showing 1-2 coins of Mughal period, then a big colored picture showing Taj Mahal, Shah Jahan's portrait, all consulting the encyclopedia senior series. But where I will be getting coin? So I started making inquiries, met some collectors. The branches have given me information about the coin collectors. Then I know that people are also people having the hobby of collecting coins. So exhibition was arranged at Cherrapunji. The then governor of Meghalaya and Assam, he was invited to inaugurate the exhibition. He has gone down this thing and he liked it. He liked for different reasons. He said, through this exhibition of State Bank of India, this displays, I find there is a sign of integrity in India. At that time there was some sort of slogans are going on, integration, integration and integration. And he requested State Bank Authority that this exhibition should be conducted each and every district of Assam and Meghalaya. And when this matter was referred to higher ups, our head office at Calcutta, Jibondip, they said how much will be the cost. So my boss wanted to know. I said it will be around 9,000 because in Northeast we used to travel by car or by jeep. So driver's salary, then petrol, then myself, at least one volunteer with me, total cost salary including all expenditure will be around 9,000. They said it will be very much high amount. We cannot spend that much of money. Do one thing, you hold this exhibition in each or every northeastern states. That gave me an opportunity to visit all the states, capital, and arrange this exhibition. Materials were ready. whatever we have shown at Cherrapunji, we took carry all these things, paintings, etc., and the borrowed coins and shown this. In the process, while one exhibition was held at Agartala, the capital of Tripura state, a funny thing happened. One gentleman called to me, and first he wanted to know who is the head of this exhibition. I was there on deputation. Then the local staff showed me. That fellow contacted me and told me, sir, can you identify this coin in Bengali? ये coin टा कौन राजार? I hope आप समझ पाएंगे कौन राजार. तो I have gone through it. I found that still the dry marks are layers of dry marks are there on the coin. Means it has come from beneath the earth. That my sense told me this fellow might have access to some coins. So I take up with that man and insisted whether there are many more coins. He said, no, there are many coins were discovered in a particular place. I found this one. I said, do you willing to sell it? It looks like a silver coin. He said, yes, if I get 100 rupees I can sell it. I said, 100 rupees? बताया कि ये कौन सा किंग का कॉइन है. तो हम देखा है उसमें ड्राई अर्थ का साइन है, मीन्स मिट्टी का नीचे से आया, कोई फाइंडिंग्स हुआ शायद. Common sense. I was not knowing what is coin, this, that. He has shown me a coin. I was unable to read the legend of this coin. I said, are you going to sell it? He said, yes, if I get 100 rupees, I will sell it. हम बोला 100 रुपया मांगते हैं, ये तो सिल्वर कॉइन है, इट लुक्स लाइक ए सिल्वर कॉइन. तो अभी तो 50 रुपया 50 रुपीज पर तोला, अब 100 रुपया डबल मांगते हैं. तो आफ्टर बार्गेनिंग ही सोल्ड इट एट 70 rupees. Then I took it and tried to read the legend. I could not. Then after examination of this coin number of times and after going back, I bought some history books, gone through it. Then I could guess that these legends are Prakrit language, written in Prakrit language, the script. Then I picked up that script and I found it is written the name of a king. Then I could guess that he must be a king of that locality, or because the Tripura is adjacent to Bengal, might be a king of Bengal. In the process, a new name added to the history. I could find out the name of a king unknown to the historians, and the type of the coin is similar to Porsgupta coins. Then I wrote an article, a layman's article. And one day, the head of the Department of History of Northeastern Hill University was residing in our locality. I entered his room. I said, sir, I have written an article on a coin. Can I give it to you for your comments? He looked to it and then said, you are not from Northeastern Hill University. Which college which college you are in service? Means he thought I am a teacher of a college. I said, I belong to State Bank of India. I am a banker basically. I found initially he was very happy to get that article and a write-up on coins. The moment he has heard that I am from a bank, I found that his face has been changed a little bit. He was probably not happy. बैंक का ऑफिसर ये क्या लिखेगा क्या नहीं लिखेगा तो मालूम नहीं है, ये क्या. तो बोला ठीक है रख दो, इधर रख दो, हम बाद में देखेंगे. After 10 or 15 days, there was a knock in my house in the evening. That was winter, very cold, and my fireplace was working. And then I was inside. My wife told me some unknown people has come. They wanted to meet you. So I opened the door. I could recognize one gentleman out of 6-7, and he was the head of the department of history department of NEHU. His name was Professor J.B. Bhattacharya. Then he introduced to me some others, and those gentlemen to whom he had, later on they became very famous in India. One was Union Public Service Commission chairman before his retirement. Another was head of All India Radio in Delhi, Dr. Kejriwal. They were at that time were lecturer of Nehu. So they said nobody is doing work on coinage in Assam, in this part of Northeast. Why don't you continue this study? That was the beginning, sir. हम तो तज्जुब बन गया कि ये आदमी को ऐसा भी कुछ लिख सकता है कि आदमी लोग का अच्छा लगेगा, यूनिवर्सिटी का प्रोफेसर लोग का अच्छा लगा है, तो हमको कुछ करना है. That was the beginning. Then I was very serious. The more time I have given for study, that probably entire student life I have not spent for that. And then gradually I become very much involved to coinage of Northeast of India. अब देखिए क्या मजा है, हमारा एक आर्टिकल पब्लिश हुआ. Then I received a letter from one British gentleman, Mr. Nicholas Rhodes. I was knowing his name. He was internationally acclaimed numismatist. He was also at that time the General Secretary of Oriental Numismatic Studies of Great Britain, and he was a consultant of British Museum. He wrote me that I have gone through his article. I found so many things you have quoted. I have written on the same kingdom somewhere. I have a brochure also. He sent me the brochure. But I could not include all these points. Where, and I am not aware. But the points I have raised were collected from Assamese manuscripts, Assamese books, Bengali books, and the books I have read written by the Indian historians. So somehow those have not gone. Then he suggested, can we write on this kingdom jointly? That was the beginning. 11 years we have worked together. दोनों मिलके 11 साल काम किया है. इन इंडिया में जब भी वो आते हैं, यूज टू कम फॉर 15 days, 20 days, 1 month. तो दोनों मिलकर काम किया है. आई यूज टू गो इन लंदन and even to his country house at Kent. I used to go there, stay in their house and used to work on it. In the process within 11 years, we have covered entire northeast of India coinage. The first time those have been come in book form. You know, there is a book called Coins written by Dr. P.L. Gupta. He is the father figure of Indian numismatics. And the book coin I take as good as Gita or Bible to me. Very, very informative book. But there I have painfully observed that Dr. Gupta has covered Northeast India within 2.5 pages. But our 11 books became books containing more than 1,000 pages. So many materials were not highlighted to the rest of the country. So I thought I must develop myself, I must involve myself in highlighting the heritage of Northeast India to the rest of the country, and this will help to have a real integration between us. That was my motto, and after retirement, now I am more than 80 years, 82 plus 83 you can say, and still, just like a student, I am learning, attending seminars, meetings. In the process, I am collecting information and judging all this, putting in the backdrop the Northeast India. I am trying to judge the real position. And this journey will continue how long, I don't know. Probably till my death, I will be working on it. I know the moment I will stop this work, I will be bedridden. And that will be very bad time of my life. So I pray to God, keep me alive to the last day as a worker, as a student of numismatics, so that I can derive some knowledge and disseminate the knowledge. That is very important. Whatever I know, if I do not disseminate, how my junior colleagues will be knowing it? So I don't know how far I could do till date. Around I hesitate to quote around 170 or 3 published articles I have in my credit, and 12 books written by me, sometimes jointly with my friends, numismatic friends, and sometimes I have edited books. As editor, I have written 3-4 books. And now what I am doing, because all my books have become out of print, I am offering this book free of cost to the good institutions like Assam State Museum and then Asiatic Society, so that they can reprint, republish it, and acquire more knowledge and develop it in a better way. That is my motto. I don't know how far I will be successful, but with that motto, I shall be continuing my work, my journey as a student of numismatics. Students of I can't say I am a researcher. I am a student of numismatics. My duty is just like a motor mechanic. If a car goes out of order, a wayside motor mechanic can immediately put some solution, put some soap, and this will be all right for you. You will be able to go to your destination. So in that way, I am working. I am not automobile engineer in that sense, and that is the way I am working. And if I get the cooperation from all my numismatics friends in India and abroad, I have a good number of friends nowadays, and nowadays this mobile is there, Facebook is there, so getting information is not a problem. I do collect information from Googles, but not always. Always I try to judge it again and put it in practical field. Many of the times I have seen whatever written by the Europeans, those are very helpful to us. They have helped us to reconstruct our history. But I go to this spot and verify it again. In the process, I found a lot of interesting things. Even in the history book, there were 2 rulers, Harishchandra I and Harishchandra II, in Kachar district, Kachari kingdom, in a part of Diden, Assam, Greater Assam. I was wondering, Harishchandra I, Harishchandra II, that, and the period gap is 75 years. So I have calculated in the process, if 25 years period for a generation, so it will be grandfather, father, and grandchild. So grandchild's name cannot be same with his grandfather. So I examined the inscriptions on the basis of which they have written that there were 2 Harishchandras and in between there are other rulers. So both the Harishchandras were different. When I have examined the inscription, wall inscriptions, stone inscriptions in a very difficult place called Maibang in a hilly area, and there was a temple like stone carved temple, Ranachandi temple in Maibang. There on the back side the legends are there. I found lot of mosses are there. The mosses were removed. I found that the tail of 83 3 has crossed over 8, and it looks like almost Diden numerical figure 4. So the European historian has written that the date is 1643, and then he said another inscription is somewhere at Silchar, and there the date is 1690. So 4390, the gap is there, and so 3 rulers were there. Harishchandra I, in between another ruler, then Harishchandra II. In fact, it is 83 and 90, so 7 years, same ruler. So with this work, I could remove from the history book name of one ruler. He has been vanished away. There was no Harishchandra II in the history of Kachari kingdoms. So these are the way. Always we should verify. साहेब ने लिखा है ठीक है, बहुत नॉलेज देते हैं हम लोग का, बट हमारा इंडियन दिमाग से उसको सोचने होगा कि क्या है, हम फिर री एग्जामिन करेंगे, बहुत कुछ निकाल आएगा। अभी जो एक हिस्ट्री हुआ है, एक छोटा से स्टोरी आपको हम बताते हैं। आई डोंट नो वेदर आई एम टेकिंग मच ऑफ योर टाइम। ये हम जब गुवाहाटी में थे तो एक स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स हमको पास आए हैं, बोला है कि अंकल ये कौन सा किंगडम का पैसा है। तो हम देखा वन साइड में लिखा है 3 एनास, अनदर साइड DIFOOL डी फूलू। हम बोले तो इंडिया में तो इसका कोई किंगडम है बोल के हमको मालूम नहीं है, बट 3 एनास माइट बी in African countries there may be a kingdom of Difulu. I don't know the names because in Africa during British rule, early British rule, this anna system, rupee systems were there in some of the places. Then I was examining, I could not find out. Then one day night, all on a sudden struck in my mind. I have seen one name of a garden in Aparasam. The name was something like Diflu. And the garden was, I was at Guwahati, the garden was 183 kilometers away. Next day I went there by taking a jeep. I entered the garden, I found the name of the garden is Diflu, spelling is DIFOOL. So I was wondering, अरे the garden का भी पैसा है। तो हम 2-4 आदमी को पूछा, उनका मैनेजर से मीट किया, पूछा कि आप लोग का पैसा था ऐसा? नहीं, तो नाम तो मिल गया, ये हम लोग का नहीं है, बट उसमें डिफ्लू लिखा है, एनास लिखा है। Then I consulted books. Later on I got some information from a gentleman of Australia, because by that time I have a lot of friends elsewhere, and Nicholas Ross. They said, we have been told that the tea gardens in India, they also stock coins. I cannot say coin because these are not legal tender, so I can say these are token of tea gardens. But what they used to do? Then I've gone through the books. I found during this initial period when tea gardens were there, Britishers were very much willing to introduce British currency, British coins, and so they wanted to pay the laborers with the help of British coins, small denomination, 1 paisa, 2 paisa, pi, 9 pies, something like that. But it was very difficult to take the coins and deliver to the gardens. The garden people will pay them by a check payable at Calcutta, their gardens banker, or drawn on garden banker. So, ultimately all the gardens jointly decided or individually decided that they can stock tokens in the name of the garden, and that will be used just like a currency in the garden areas. When I made further inquiries and took interview of many of the very old labor Sardar, the senior Sardar, knowledgeable persons, they used to say, हाँ, हम लोग जब गार्डन में काम करते हैं, हम लोग का दरमहा यही टोकन से देते थे। तब कहा ये अलग क्या करते हैं टोकन से? तो हम पूछा है भाई, ये टोकन आप क्या करते थे? कि हम लोग का वीकली दरमहा मिलता, कोई गार्डन में डेली वेजेस मिलता था, तो वो टोकन लेके दे यूज टू बाई दी प्रोफेशंस। और उस टाइम में हर चा बगीचा में जो महाजन थे, वो महाजन्स वर लेंडर टू दी गार्डन अथॉरिटीज एट द टाइम ऑफ नीड, क्योंकि पैसा तो गार्डन का हाथ में हर टाइम में नहीं रहता है। और वो महाजन का शॉप भी था, तो महाजन यूज टू accept those tokens, and in lieu they used to sell the provisions, जैसा आटा की, शुगर की, ऑयल, मस्टर्ड ऑयल एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा। तो इन द प्रोसेस वो जब लेते थे तो द प्राइस यूज टू बी डिटरमाइंड बाय महाजन्स, उसमें कुछ नाफा होता है। और जब वो फिर इनकैश करते हैं, पूरा टोकन कलेक्शन करके टी गार्डन को जब रिटर्न देते हैं, उसमें भी कुछ नाफा करता था। तो इन बोथ वे दे हैड प्रॉफिट्स। और क्या हो गया था, बिकॉज these tokens were gradually what happened become popular in the nearby village हाट्स. हाट्स मीन्स मंडी जो होता है हफ्ता में एक दो दफे, उसमें भी टोकन एक्सेप्ट करने शुरू कर दिया. तो जियोग्राफिकल एरिया ऑफ द यूज ऑफ दिस टोकन्स एक्सपेंडेड. गार्डन्स एंड नियर बाई विलेज मार्केट्स हर में वो चलता था. हम ताज्जुब बनते हैं कि 100 साल एक टोकन चला है. कोई हिस्ट्री किताब में कुछ भी एक लाइन नहीं है. अरे ये तो डॉक्यूमेंट है, ये तो कॉमनर का हिस्ट्री का डॉक्यूमेंट है. टी गार्डन लेबर की लेबर प्रॉब्लम का, लेबर सर्विस का इतिहास का एक अंश है, पर कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं है. तो कहाँ से कहाँ निकल जाता है. तो अल्टीमेटली आई पुट एवरीथिंग वट एवर आई हैव विजिटेड अबाउट 200 टी गार्डन्स. सो आई नो that if I am to write it, then I should also visit the nearby tea gardens outside India. So I went to Malaysia and other places, Burma, Ceylon, all these places, and inquired the life of उधर में की टोकन है था कि नहीं था, ये पूछा है. साउथ इंडिया में भी कॉफी गार्डन काफ़ी है, टी गार्डन भी है, उसमें भी टोकन था. इवन इन बिहार में भी काफ़ी, झारखंड एरिया में भी अभी चला गया, काफ़ी टी गार्डन था. कुछ भी अभी भी है रांची एरिया में, तो उसका भी टोकन था कि नहीं था कोई मालूम नहीं है. और दिस टोकन्स यूज्ड टू बी स्टॉक फ्रॉम हिटन्स मिंट इन यूके. उधर से बना के ले आता था. बाद में हम देखा एक कलकत्ता मिंट फोर्ट विलियम में कंप्लेंट किया, अरे चाय बागीचा का साहेब लोग अपने पैसा बनाने शुरू कर दिया, ये तो इलीगल है. बट द ओनर्स ऑफ द टी गार्डन्स आर ब्रिटिश और यूरोपियन एंड ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी बिलोंग्स टू ब्रिटिश. सो द वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट कनेक्टेड बोथ द ग्रुप्स टुगेदर. और चाइना जो टी इंडस्ट्री का वो बहुत सीक्रेट रखते थे, तो इसलिए बहुत खर्चा होता था ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का चाइना से टी एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए. तो दैट्स वाई दे ट्राई टू एंटर इन असम एंड ग्रेजुअली वो खबर लिया है कि असम और चाइना बड़ा जो एरिया है नेपाल में, वही एरिया में चाय बागीचा है. और देखिए एक मजा का बात है, हम ऐसा जनरल क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, भाई चाय बागीचा का वो जो टी प्लांट है कितना बड़ा होता है, टी प्लांट कितना बड़ा होता है. माई आंसर इज नॉर्मली 30 to 40 feet. You may laugh, but actual tea gardens trees are very high. It may go even 40, 45, 50 feet high. But Chinese लोग क्या किया, वो बंसाई करके छोटा कर दिया to plant this tea leaves. हमें किताब हमारा एक पब्लिश हुआ फ्रॉम एस्थेटिक सोसाइटी कलकत्ता, उसमें हम डिटेल्स दिया है. चाइनीज लोग, हम पुराना किताब में तस्वीर भी देखा है, इनिशियली यूज्ड टू प्लग द टी लीव्स by giving training to the monkeys. Monkeys used to pluck these tea leaves from big trees. तो वो बंसाई करके जो बनाया, they were not wanted to disclose it. और वो सब जो ब्रिटिश ट्रेडर है वो पोर्ट में आने देता था, डच ट्रेडर को, पोर्तुगीज को, फ्रेंच को पोर्ट में अंदर में आने नहीं दिया है. They wanted to keep it very secret and they had a monopoly business. To break the monopoly, East India Company people entered via Assam and ultimately got the clue. और उन लोग ट्राइबल जो चाइना में भी जाते आते उन लोग बता दिया सर ऐसे टी गार्डन हुआ है आसाम में. देन इट हैज बीन एंड देन दे फाउंड दैट नॉट ओनली इन आसाम, इन अनडिवाइडेड बंगाल, now a place called Srihatto, there were also lot of wild trees, tea trees are available. इसका मतलब उधर में भी बगीचा हो सकता. अल्टीमेटली हुआ है. अभी सब बांग्लादेश में गया, काफ़ी गार्डन है वही एरिया में. तो ऐसा ही हिस्ट्री है. एक डिग करने से कितना इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है. एक एक चीज़ में इतना हिस्ट्री है, इतना बैकग्राउंड मटेरियल है. हम तो सोचते हैं कि हमको और थोड़ा लेखा पढ़ा करना चाहिए, और भी जानकारी होना चाहिए, so that I can put it in a good way. When I talked about books and Mr. Prem Piyush also wanted to know how many books I have written. I feel hesitated. Writing number of books does not mean कि बहुत मैंने जानकारी है. My work was confined to Northeast India. I was not willing to work in a big background or panorama because I know then I won't be able to do justice to that. So Northeast में जो काम किया है, my first book was published by Northeastern University. When they came to know about my work, they asked me to deliver a talk at the university, and that was my first talk in university. I was very happy to go there and deliver the talk. And then Mr. J.P. Singh, who was previously a professor of Benares University and who was also General Secretary of Numismatic Society of India, asked me, and he was by that time head of the Department of History of Northeastern University, asked me to put it in black and white, whatever talk I have given. And then I put it and they published it in a book form, The Coins and Tokens of Assam. That was my first book published by a university. And then I started working with Nicholas Rhodes, and I was feeling so happy that a gentleman like, a true gentleman, Nicholas Rhodes, is willing to accept a small file like me. वो कहाँ है, हम कहाँ है, कितना नॉलेजेबल है, हिमालयन बेल्ट का पूरा हिस्ट्री उनका मालूम है. तो उनका नॉलेज हमारा लोकल नॉलेज पंच करके हम किताब लिखना शुरू किया. देन we have jointly written a book on Cooch Behar coinage, the coinage of Cooch Behar. This was followed by another book, The Coinage of Tripura. You will be surprised to know Tripura coins are so beautiful, so beautiful. I can say after Gupta coins, these are the best coins having best calligraphy, best type of design. Design was most artistic presentation of the coins. And Tripura coins have a very beautiful story. Tripura is the only kingdom in whole world where names of the queens have been mentioned in all the coins for more than 500 years. Nowhere in no numismatic history will find it. So देखिए छोटा मोटा जगह में भी उसका कुछ हिस्ट्री हो सकता, इसका क्या इंफॉर्मेशन निकलेगा. तो आफ्टर राइटिंग दैट बुक कॉइनेज ऑफ त्रिपुरा वी फेल्ट वेरी एंथुसियास्टिक. देन वी हैव रिटन असम को ऊपर में. तो द फर्स्ट बुक वी हैव रिटन द कॉइनेज ऑफ असम वॉल्यूम 1 प्री अहोम पीरियड. देयर वाज नो बुक्स एट ऑल इन असम और एनीवेयर अबाउट प्री अहोम कॉइन्स. सो by that time I was close to Assam University. I found they have lot of pre-Ahom coins. So we deciphered it, and then I have shown, according to record and history book, Assam coins started from 17th century. By that book we have proved no, it was from 9th century onwards Assam had coins. Assam having a numismatic history right from 9th century, not from 17th century, pre-Ahom period. And then we wrote Ahom period, the coinage of Assam Ahom period with Nicholas Rhodes. This was followed by coinage of Dimacha Kasaris as seen through coinage. वो किताब भी निकाला है. तो उसी का बाद we have written a book on मणिपुर. इसका पहला मणिपुर को लिखने का अगाड़ी लिखा the coinage of Jaintia kingdom and then Manipur. Then Jaintia history we have written the coinage of Jaintia kingdom. That was followed by the coinage of Manipur. Actually what happened when we have drafted 50% of the book, unfortunately the most shocking news came from UK that Mr. Nicholas Rhodes का देहांत हो गया. And immediately I stopped work. For 6 months I was not even in a talking terms with other कि हमको आधा हिस्सा चला गया. बाद में I thought no, I must complete the task. Then rest of the portion I have written, and I was helped by the last legal heirs of Jaintia kingdom. She helped me. Jaintia kingdom, the ladies used to inherit their properties always. In Khashi and Jaintia hills, property goes to the youngest lady nowadays, not to the male member. And after marriage, the male जो बाराती में आफ्टर मैरिज क्या होता है, वो फीमेल का घर में मेल हस्बैंड चला जाते हैं,
घर जमाई,
वो हाँ
घर जमाई बन जाता है।
घर जमाई नहीं, वो घर जमाई नहीं है, वो घर का जैसा हमारा बहू ले आते हैं, तो वो खासी फैमिली में ट्रेडिशन है, वो हस्बैंड ले आते हैं।
ओके।
एंड ही बिकेम अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइक वो बहू, वो खासी फैमिली में हस्बैंड का हालत ऐसे ही है। तो हालत बुरा नहीं है, अच्छा ही है, बट ये डिफरेंट हम लोग का इनिशियली थोड़ा डाइजेस्ट करने में थोड़ा ये होता है। जो भी हो, very these Khashi peoples are highly educated, are they have a very decent culture, and lot of things they practice which we must learn and pick up, and it should spread throughout India. But इन लोग तो थोड़ा shy है, इतना नहीं बताते हैं। And then वो तो हो गया, सब 7 books we have written jointly, and after that I have written a book, Commercial Coinage of Kuch Bihar. Why commercial coinage? Because in all the books the Britishers have written, the historians, I should not say Britishers, the European historians have written कि these native states, they used to say native states, their kingdoms, coinage, those were for gift purposes. I was not agreeing to that. I came across East India Company archive document, there it has been written, land sold with the help of those native coins. I got one document where it is written, সাত নারায়ণী টঙ্কা দিয়ে এতটা জমি কিনেছি। Means this much of land I have purchased, I am selling by taking 7 Narayani Tonka. Narayani Tonka is the coins of Koch kingdom. अगर ये सब गिफ्ट का है तो वो डॉक्यूमेंट में क्यों होता है कि लैंड परचेस में भी यूज हुआ? तो देन आई वर्कड ऑन इट, आई फाउंड नो record shows, even in British record shows, that those were used even in monetary transactions. So then I wrote that book, and then I thought the Nagaland having a beautiful history, numismatic history. Their coins are just like brave Naga peoples, just like a arrow type thing, beautiful, made of iron, because iron was very scarce in Nagaland. So I inquired, visited Naga museums, I found those are known as Jabili coins. Then I collected, I have interviewed lot of Naga people, old people, they said the value of this coin was this much, according to size. And for offering to God, very big size, Jabili coins were needed to please the God. Like us also, we please our gods by offering money. तो ऐसे ही होते हैं। तो then I wrote a book, the our Nagas and their Jabili coins, एक किताब निकाल किया। ऐसे ही हम कुछ किताब लिखा है, एंड देन तो एडिटिंग भी किया है, रीप्रिंट जो होता है अपडेट करके एडिटिंग करके जो गलती हुआ है, आई गो थ्रू ऑल दिस आई मीन रिव्यूज इन डिफरेंट बुक्स, एंड इफ दे हैव पॉइंटेड आउट एनी मिस्टेक आई यूज टू करेक्ट इट। कोई आदमी ऐसा बता नहीं सकेगा कि हमको जो जानकारी है इससे ऊपर बाहर कुछ नहीं, ये तो गलती बात है। Initially I have said, still I am a student of numismatics, अभी सीख रहा है। तो कोई जूनियर, very junior in age, कि school going student also can teach me, he can also provide me some information which I am not knowing connected to numismatics. I am happy to accept those things, but I always judge it with corroborative information to verify, to test, just like a jeweler, you know, if you give a silver coin or a gold coin, they test it. Like that I also test with corroborative information, previous records, whether this is genuine information or not. And in the process I get new information, and I am going on. I don't know when my journey will end. And if God favors, to the last day of my life, I want to work. I want to work, and I want to learn more and more. Want to mix the Indian peoples everywhere I go. Bihar, Orissa, so beautiful peoples are there. When I talk to them, I become amazed. We are so rich. I go to the villages. Villages are so beautiful. I mean, they are not educated, but their way of life, their line of thinking, their way of accepting outsider, beautiful, beautiful. And I wonder, I am very lucky that I am born in India and I am born in this beautiful country where a lot of things are to learn from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from western part to eastern part, northeastern part. ये लर्निंग प्रोसेस का कोई एंड नहीं है. अपना देश का जानना चाहिए. टैगोर का एक बहुत अच्छा पोएम है, उसमें लिखा है कि देखिए बहुत पैसा खर्चा करके दुनिया भर हम घूमा है, बहुत चीज देखा है, बहुत मटेरियल देखा है, बहुत स्कल्पचर देखा है. घर से निकाल के वो जो ग्रास का ऊपर जो पानी का बूंद विंटर सीजन में निकालता है, हम लोग बोलता है ओस
ड्यू.
हाँ, पानी का जो बिंदु बोलता है, पानी का जो बिंदु है ग्रास का ऊपर, लुक्स लाइक ए डायमंड. ये हम अच्छा से नहीं देखा. हमको जानने होगा. अपने को जानने से दूसरा को हम जान सकते हैं. ये आदमी के ऊपर भी एप्लीकेबल है. हमको खुद ठीक तरह से जानेगा कि व्हाई आई बिहेव इन दिस वे, आई विल बी एबल टू जज द अदर मैन व्हाई ही इज बिहेविंग इन दैट वे. वही जगह में प्लेस करके कोई हमको गाली दिया तो आई ट्राई टू पुट माई सेल्फ इन हिज प्लेस कि ये हम होने से हम भी शायद गाली देता था. तो देन आई लर्न. इसका कोई एंड नहीं है यार. इंडिया ऐसा फास्ट कंट्री है कि 10 जनरेशन काम करने से भी ये खत्म नहीं हुआ. ओपन फील्ड इज देयर एवरीवेयर इन इंडिया. आई मीन दिस इज ए प्लेस वी हैव born. A gold mine, big gold mine, not confined to Mysore, gold mine. Whole India is a gold mine. Everything, manuscript, books, coins, history, culture, heritage, everything is just like a gold mine. Anybody, if divorced in one part, whole life he can work. There won't be any end to it. With this, I want to end to my talk. I am very thankful to all of you for your patience hearing to me. Thank you.